Hello and welcome back. This is Poncho Smith, and you are watching episode 3 of the Her Lullaby Let's Read. Last time, we achieved our voyeur ending, which really wasn't that much better than the dead end. So, hopefully we can make a few different decisions and maybe not end up with quite as much bloodshed. So our downfall last time is when we lied about our name to Toko. So let's try telling the truth and see if that yields any positive results. On the other hand, this was a pretty fucking dire situation. If I couldn't trust Toko with my first name, the chances of us helping each other out to get out of here felt slim. It's Sal. That's a nice name. Thanks. Yours too. Flatterer. Sorry. Oh no, I don't mind. I could feel my body relaxing. Cute girls flirting with me tended to do that. More importantly, it seemed Toko didn't want to hurt me. But what was that earlier? Toko hadn't done anything besides make some bad jokes, and I was definitely about to dash across the room and attack her. Why would I do that? If we wanted to figure out what was going on, that question seemed like as good a place as any to start. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something that'll sound kinda nuts. Oh? Something nuts? Well, with everything being as normal as it is right now, I probably need to brace myself then. Or, I probably need to brace myself then, huh? And there's that wit again. If we weren't locked inside what I could only describe as a death basement, I'm betting this girl would have already charmed my pants off. If it wasn't already abundantly clear, we are dealing with a game full of rather gay ladies. Tracer level gay. Along with my top and bra. Well, okay, I really wanted to stab you with that knife just now. She didn't look very surprised. I continued. Believe me, it's not something I want to do to people very often. It's especially weird because I have no idea who you are. Why the hell would I want to kill you? She sighed, leaning against the wall with her head against her hands. Well, it's not like I'm a particularly trustworthy person from your perspective. For all you know, I could be the one that kidnapped you. We were kidnapped? Is that what happened? I'd say so. How else do two cute girls wind up locked in some creepy basement with splitting headaches? She thinks I'm cute. Score. So wait, we're locked in? My eyes moved over to the room's only door for the first time. It looked pretty sturdy. Mind if I get up and check? Go ahead. I did before you woke up. It seemed pretty solidly locked. I stood up and walked over to the door, making sure to steer clear of the knives in the corner. I'd glanced at them as I stood up and felt a weird, awful tightening in my chest. I had a feeling if I dwelled on them too long, I'd be back to wanting to kill Toko for no reason, which is something I wanted to avoid. I pushed and pulled at the round doorknob, and sure enough, the door wasn't budging. Fuck. Yep, we're stuck together. You're awfully cavalier about this, considering we're locked in some basement. I know how these stories tend to go, and it's not pretty. I use humor to cope with stressful situations. Try it. You could stand to chill a few degrees. Okay, knock knock. Who's there? The terrifying murderer that's gonna come in and slash us to bits any minute now. I don't think you're getting into the spirit of my suggestion. Shut up. I sat back down. This fucking sucked. What the hell was gonna happen to us? I sat and stewed. I didn't want to admit it to myself, but I was scared out of my mind. I wanted to kill you, too. Huh? I was waiting for you to come over here. The second you did, I was gonna stab that thing right through your chest. She pointed at the corner where we tossed the blades. I looked over for just a second and felt my stomach churn, then quickly turned back at Toko. That's not normal for me either. What's going on? Let's review what we do know. We're trapped in a basement. Neither of us know how we got here, right? Right, last thing I remember, I was crawling into bed in my apartment. I remember turning out the lamp in my dorm and laying my head on the pillow and closing my eyes. Next thing I know, I woke up here with a pounding in my head, and an unconscious girl, and a knife. My chest tightened. I wish she'd stop mentioning the knives. So your story's basically the same? Yeah, except I woke up to a smarmy, loudmouth British girl. She rolled her eyes, then continued. Both of us, for no rational reason we know about, really wanted to murder each other. Yeah, I guess that's what it looks like. What on earth could make us want to do that? We paused and thought for a minute. It wasn't exactly a cheery thing to wonder about, but I had an idea. Maybe it's some kind of drug? Something they injected us with? Or something in the air? I looked up and noticed several vents placed evenly on the wall just underneath the ceiling. I was going to say this place is haunted, but your thing makes sense too, I guess. I laughed dryly. Well, whatever it is, it seems to get worse if we look at those knives too much. Let's just stay away from them and try to stay calm. Toko was right, but how the hell were we supposed to stay calm in a situation like this? I was really getting scared now. We didn't have any idea what was going on. I zoned out for a minute or so, trying to focus on my breathing. Then Toko broke the silence. Hey, is that your bag? I looked where she was pointing, just a few feet away from me. And sure enough, my school bag was sitting right there. I hadn't noticed it earlier while looking over the room. It was a cheap pack with my school's logo emblazoned on the side. I'd gotten it on orientation day and hadn't bothered to exchange it for something more my style. My eyes lit up. Was my cell phone still in the bag? I opened it up and looked through it, finding a number of useless knickknacks. Mostly blank notebook, a few mechanical pencils, a tube of pepper spray, a half-full bag of Cheez-Its. There it was. I couldn't believe it. My cell was right there in the bag. It had power, too. What on earth? Had the kidnapper made a mistake? Surely they hadn't meant to leave my phone with me. I looked up from the bag. Toko was staring at me. Find anything, Sal? Well, we gotta tell him about the cell phone. Toko looked pale. I didn't understand why. This was great news. Did you receive any messages? What was she talking about? Why would it matter if I'd gotten any texts? I'm gonna try calling for help. And as happened last time, we didn't quite get too far with the cell phone, so let's just scroll through there. Yeah, mine didn't work either. I zipped it up and put it down, rubbing my temples. I looked up and saw Toko eyeing the logo on my bag. Huh, I guess we go to the same university. Really? Huh? Weird that we haven't seen each other on campus. The small talk helped. It distracted me from the disappointment of not being able to call for help. It's not that weird. I think there are some, 30,000 students in attendance. Are you an exchange student or something? No, I moved to the area 2 years ago. She paused, remembering something. Wait, you said your name was Sal? Yeah. Do you ever go to that god-awful Australian-themed pub on campus? That's a rather specific, target demographic. I know the one she's talking about instantly. It's a shitty club, but I've managed to meet some pretty cute girls there. Yeah, on occasion. Oh my god, I think you slept with my girlfriend! I blinked. I thought for a moment about the girls I'd hooked up with at that club. Let me think. Christine? I met with Christine a little over a year ago. We went on a couple of dates and had a really fun time. At least that's what I thought. She stopped returning my calls and I never saw her again. So it goes. Toko rolled her eyes. Nope. Wait, Lori? Yep, that's her. I remembered her name, but not much else. It was about 4 months ago, and the night was a total blur. Sorry? No, it's not a problem, it's just... She paused and smirked. Oh, come on, what? She said you were pretty bad. My mouth dropped. What? You're so surprised. I was aghast. I mean, just... What? Well, I guess I drank a lot that night. I murmured out that piss-poor excuse, then pulled up a little smaller in my spot on the floor, frowning. Oh, quit pouting. Laurie can be a pretty harsh critic, believe me. I stared at the ground. This was just so absolutely great. We were locked up in a basement, we had no idea what was going on, and I was suddenly insecure about my sexual prowess. If we get out of here alive, I'll show you how pretty bad I am. My tone was barely above a whisper. But damn it, come on. I'd never heard any complaints before. I'll hold you to that. I found myself giggling as well. Given our situation, it probably wasn't the most appropriate time to be making jokes like this. But how else were we going to keep our heads on straight? I held onto the bag in my lap tightly as I looked up. I expected more second-hand and entirely unfair jabs from Toko, but she'd fallen silent. She was staring above the door. I followed her gaze and gasped. Is that a camera? Without thinking about it, I got up and walked to the locked entrance, slinging my bag over my shoulder. I looked closely at the object over the door. It was definitely a camera. It was a small, sleek, black, expensive-looking, and totally out of place in this grungy basement. It definitely looked like it'd been put there recently. Someone's watching us. Suddenly it all clicked. I knew what was going on. I knew why we were here. I glared into the camera's lens, rage building. I turned back towards Toko. Don't you fucking get it? I could feel the hate burning inside me as it all came together. What? Someone kidnapped us. They pumped us full of drugs that make us want to kill each other, and now they're just watching. I took a step toward Toko. She shrank back from me as I did so. I'm not some movie star or politician's daughter. I don't know about you, but my parents haven't been part of the picture for a while now. If someone kidnapped me for ransom, I'm a pretty poor fucking choice. And if we just got kidnapped because someone wanted to murder us, why would they give us weapons? Why would we be itching to stab each other for no reason? I was almost yelling now. She didn't get it, which really fucking pissed me off for some reason. Please calm down, Sal. Toko looked scared. I didn't particularly care. I held onto my bag tightly. Don't you get it? Someone wants us to kill each other so they can get off on it. We're the stars in some sick fuck's personal snuff film. I was furious. This was sick. This was so fucking sick. I looked down at Toko. She still looked scared. It pissed me off. Didn't she know I was scared out of my mind too? Then I saw it. I saw her eyes flicker towards the corner where we threw the knives. Her body was tense. I hissed at her through gritted teeth. What? Are you gonna run over and grab a knife? Are you gonna kill me? Are you gonna give them exactly what they want? I closed the distance between us and grabbed her collar, lifting her up off the floor. Because let me tell you one thing, I am not going down easy. A loud static was boring into my eardrums. It hurt like hell. I knew it was Toko's fault somehow. She looked down at the ground. She spoke, her words mangled and distorted by the static. I don't want to kill you. Want to talk. Calm. God, she pissed me off. I just knew she was waiting for me to put her down so she could make a dash for the knives. She wouldn't get there, though. She was not going to take me down. Please. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up! She spoke again, her meek voice cutting through the distortion. Please, let's just talk. Why can't she just shut up? Doesn't she know how much trouble we're in? I felt the weight of the bag slung against my shoulder. I thought about the pepper spray. I realized I'd been thinking about the pepper spray since I saw it. Okay, so we can make a somewhat different choice now. Ellipses, ellipses, ellipses. Ellipses, ellipses, ellipses. What am I doing? I let Toko down and she recoiled from me quickly. I took the bag and tossed it away from me, over into the corner with the knives. The realization hit me like a truck. I was gonna kill her. I was gonna try to kill this girl I didn't know for no fucking reason. I'm so sorry, Toko. I almost did something awful. I sank to the ground as I felt tears well up in my eyes. Toko slowly came closer. Then delicately, she got on her knees and wrapped her arms around me. I felt so sick. Nothing made sense at all. My emotions and thoughts were a jumbled mess. They raced through my mind with such incredible speed it felt like my head would split open at any second. All I could do now was surrender myself to her soft embrace. It's going to be okay. We're going to get out of this horrible place, all right? She kissed my forehead tenderly. Though her tiny voice wavered, her words were confident, offering the only slight bit of hope either of us could cling to. I pressed my head into her chest, no longer able to control my sobbing. God damn it. God fucking damn it, I'm so fucking sorry, Toko. It's not your fault. It is, though! How in the hell are you holding it together so well when I've almost attacked you twice? Are you kidding me? The whole time you were shouting, I was planning out exactly how I was going to. Just trust me. I'm not exactly keeping it together, Sal. I could feel the whirlwind inside my head begin to calm down. Well, thanks for not murdering me. Likewise. We're going to be okay, Sal. Thanks, Toko. We just sat there for several minutes in silence, holding each other. This was the first time since we woke up that either of us felt any semblance of peace. Even though we were still in here, and God knows where, I don't think either of us wanted this moment to end. Her voice cut through the silence. Only, she wasn't talking. She was humming. As her hummed melody echoed off the walls, I felt my breathing slow down. My distorted vision and the ringing in my ears subsided. I could feel my mind beginning to process my thoughts and emotions at a normal speed. Her gentle voice had momentarily soothed me to my very core, and yet, through her thick black coat, I could feel it. Her entire body was trembling, and it wasn't because of the temperature. Though it may have appeared that she was the one comforting me, I felt that, in this moment, more than anything, this warmth and her song were more for her benefit than mine. Nonetheless, I was thankful. Out of instinct, I pulled her body closer to mine, holding her as tightly as I could. I vainly hoped I could offer her even a sliver of the same relief she'd intentionally or unintentionally offered me. I looked up at her. It's just an old lullaby. She looked slightly embarrassed. I couldn't stop myself from thinking her slight aversion to eye contact was kinda cute. When I was a little girl, I was really scared of storms. If it stormed at night, I could never get to sleep. My mum, she held me in her arms and hummed that song to me. And when she did, off to dreamland I'd go, every time. It's pretty embarrassing. No, I still hum it to myself whenever I get nervous, which is a lot. Whether I'm nervous before a final exam looking to chart up a cute boy or girl. Like I said, it's really silly. I gently brought her head to my shoulder, whispering softly. No, it's not. I could feel her warm tears lightly drip onto my shirt as she held on to me. What had either of us done to deserve what was happening? Who would do something like this? Why would they do something like this? All I could do was hold this scared girl in my arms while trying to contain my own fears and doubts. I still wasn't doing such a great job on the latter. Time continued to pass with neither of us making an effort to move. It felt like the entire world might fall apart, that we'd plunge right into the badness and suffering if we dared to let go of one another. But as long as we held on tight, we'd be protected from the harm this place wanted to do to us. As long as we were in each other's arms, we'd be safe. Maybe you're right. Maybe we'll be okay. That was when I heard it. A metal click and a harsh creak. I looked behind me at the source of the sound, the now open door. A figure stood within it. It was a girl. She was wearing a green t-shirt and jeans, and I recognized her. I heard Toko gasp as she nearly jumped out of my arms. Lori? Holy shit, swerve, son. Well, that was unexpected. So, it looks like doing that changed a couple of things. Namely, we don't have the option to continue at this point, but instead we have the option to wake up. That's very intriguing. But also it's going to wait until next time. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll keep you posted. Stay tuned for episode 4, where we really get into the thick of things.